Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to this video, application of integral calculus, shortcuts for daily life and more. My name is Junaid Ahmed and I will be instructed throughout this video. Let's get started with the fundamental theorem. So we have a function f of x and you want to be integrating this within the bounds a to b, a being the lower limit and b being the upper limit. So what is f of x? F of x is basically a function of y expressed in terms of x. So dx means a small part of this function. All right, now let's take an example. Now let's say that you have $5 as pocket money every month. So if you want to calculate what you're going to get after 5 months, this is easy to do because it's just 5 into 5 and you get 25. But let's try to express this in this theorem. Now you can draw two axes, so one is the x-axis and one is the y-axis, and you can divide these axes into months and dollars. So x-axis has months 1 2 3 4 5 and y-axis has dollars 1 2 3 4 5. All right, now if you get $5, which is right about here, so you draw a straight line every month till you get 5 months. If you actually connect these two dots, then you're going to get these rectangles. Now if you calculate the area of this rectangle, you're going to get the answer. So basically length into breadth, 5 into 5 is 25. And also if you take the units and actually strike out the month, you're going to get dollars. So that is $25. Very nice. So you have expressed this simple maths into the theorem and actually worked out the problem. Let's take a look at another example. Now let's say your pocket money started with $1 every month and it increased by $1 every month as well. So now if you draw a graph with the same axes as x and y, x being months and y being dollars, then your function f of x is going to look like this. And the value of this is going to be 1x. So how are we going to deal with problems like these? Let's take a look at the problem. Now let's say that you're about the age you want to get a skateboard. All right, so you go to your dad, you ask, hey dad, can you please get me a skateboard? Now your dad, being a dad, says, hey, nothing is free in this world, you have to earn it. He says if you continue to do your homework and clean your things including his car, he will start you with a pocket money of $10 a month, and every month he will increase it by another $10. And he says that in no time you can buy your own skateboard. And you say, Dad, gee, you could have just said no. But he says, hey pal, this is a good deal, think about it. Then you say, okay, so a good skateboard like Tony Hawk ones would probably cost you about $200. So how long will it take? Now this is a good problem. So first let's try to bring the numbers into a table and try to visualize what it looks like. So if you draw a table with month and dollars, so first month you're going to get $10, second month you're going to get $20, third month you're going to get $30, fourth month you're going to get $40. You see why your dad says this is a good deal. Now how long will it take to reach $200 so that you can buy the skateboard? Now that's the problem. Let's take a look at the solution. Now let's get started with the function f of x equal to 10x. Now if you actually draw a graph with the x and y axes, and if you calculate the quadratic function, you would get 10x. Now the first thing is you're going to take a guess. You're going to say, hey, okay, probably 3 months it's a good time to get the $200, right? Well, it's a guess. So let's do the math. Now let's say first month you're going to get $10, second month you're going to get $20, third month you're going to get $30. So that's going to be $60. Now let's see if you can get the same answer using integration. You start with the function f of x dx with the lower bound and the upper bound. So 0 to 3, 0 is 0 months, 3 is your third month, right? And your function is f of x and then dx. So if you integrate 10x, you can get 10x squared by 2. And if you actually divide 10 by 2, you're going to get 5x squared, 0 to 3. So if you apply your limits, 5x squared, substitute x as 3. So 5 into 3 square minus 5 into 0 square. So this becomes 0. And this becomes 5 into 9. So that gives you 45. So 45 is not close to 60. So this is where the rule of approximation comes into picture. Let's take a look at my rule of approximation. So my idea of approximation is this. So the same function remains. What you're going to add is you're going to add this factor. So we're going to call it the approximation factor. So this is something like this. 1 plus 1 by b minus a. And that's it. So this looks a little bit complicated, but it's very, very simple. What you're doing is you're adding a percentage of the upper bound minus the lower bound in a factor. So if you actually do the math, 1 plus 1 by 3 minus 0 would give you 0.333. And if you just add it to 1, it's going to give you 1.333. And if you multiply that with the actual 45 answer which you got, you're going to get roughly about 60. So there you go. So if you apply the approximation factor, you're going to actually get your answer. Now let's try to increase the guess. So you're now going to get a skateboard for $60. So let's see, guess number 2, you say 6 months. So you apply the same. So your lower limit remains 0 and your upper limit remains 6. Then you apply the function 10x dx, then dot, you apply the approximation factor. So this is the same thing, 5x squared, and then this is going to be 1 plus 0.1666 because now it's become 1 by 6. So you apply the math, 5x squared is basically 6 squared, so 5 into 36 is 180, and into this approximation factor is 1.166. That roughly comes up to $210. All right. Now let's see if this matches with your basic match. So first month $10, second month 20, so on, and 6 is 60. If you actually do the math, it's $210. Hey, guess what? They're the same thing. So this is an exciting piece of information which you have got, and you can try it, and it's actually pretty interesting. Now let's say that you have grown up and you got yourself situated pretty well, all right, and now you're eyeing for that Mustang. Let's say that you want to start your saving with about $500 a month and increase then by $100 every month. So basic version of Mustang runs about $25,000. So let's say that you want to put the cash down and not worry about the payments. So you want to know how long do you want to save. All right. So if you express this equation, which is basically starting with $500 and increasing every month by $100, it's going to boil down to 100x plus 400. So that is going to be your f of x. All right. And your bounds are going to be 0 to x, which we do not know. Now, if you want to split this equation before actually doing the integration, it's going to be much easier for you. So you can write this equation as 100x dx 0 to x plus 400 0 to x dx. And then you basically do the integration x squared by 2, and then you boil down to this equation. So you're taking a guess. You think that it's going to take you probably 2 years. So go ahead and apply 2 years, 0 to 24 months. That's 2 years, right? And the same thing on this side. So that boils down to 50 into the x square, right about here. So that's 24x squared plus 400 into x. That's going to be 24. And this side is going to be basically 0. So don't worry about it. And if you actually do the math, it's going to be 28,800 plus 9,600. So that's $38,400. Man, you didn't expect that. And then you apply the approximation factor. So that's going to make it almost 40 grand. So let's take the next guess. The next guess is going to be 20 months. You think that probably 20 months I can get a brand new Mustang for myself. So actually, if you boil down the whole equation, this comes up to only this much. So 50x squared plus 400x. So you just apply the upper limit because the lower limit is 0. So 50 into 20 squared plus 400 into 20, it's going to be 28,000 into the approximation factor of 1.05. Again, it's going to get you 29,400. That's also more than what you need. So that's another good news. So let's say, okay, fine, probably 18 months would do the trick. So you apply the bounds, and guess what? You're going to get 24,700. So you are going to get your Mustang at the end of 18 months. Awesome, really good work.